What's up, Banger family? It's your girl, Banger Girl, and I'm back with another banger. I have Mike Laz. He was kind enough to hop back on my channel and just give some more mixing engineering tips. Mike is gonna show us how to mix low end. What's up, Mike?
What's good? Thanks for having me back on the channel. Glad to
How
be here.
how you doing? How's everything going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Same old, the grind don't stop. I guess we could just get started. I'm gonna throw it over to you.
All right, so just went through and I color coded all the tracks because that makes it really easy for me to see where I am in the session and find what I got to find.
Hmm.
So the first thing I like to do is just listen and get a sense for the beat. So let's play it.
Banger girl.
What I'm going to do as I listen through the first time is just start adjusting volume, see if I could just get it to sit better together like that.
And are you adjusting the volume while you're playing it?
I'm going to listen through, and as I'm listening, I'm going to be adjusting volumes on
Got
this
it.
first or second playthrough of the song.
Banger girl.
Sounded better to me already, just
Hmm.
from adjusting a couple little volumes. And one other thing I did, I should mention, is there were two rims in this track. So there's this rim sound and this one.
Hmm.
And for now, I just grouped them together on a bus so I can control that volume together. But we might want to
Hmm.
dial in a different balance of those two. So we'll look into that. But at this point, what I want to do is I want to check some gain staging very early on. So a limiter that I really like using right now on my master is this plugin, the God Particle. Okay, and we're not overloading or peaking any of these meters, which is what I'm looking for right now, you know. So we're at a safe volume to start working. I like to start with the low end first. I feel like it's like building a house. You have to start with the foundation and then take it one floor at a time. So our main low end element we have here for most of the song is this 808. So let's check that out. And that sounds pretty good on its own. I don't know if I would really add much to it, but let's see how that works in conjunction with our kick drum. Sounded pretty fat just
Hmm.
by some of this volume here, but one way we could make that even fatter sounding is by using some sidechain compression. So my favorite plugin to use these days for that is actually the Soothe plugin, so that every time the kick hits, it's going to duck out some of the low frequencies in the 808 where they clash, and it's going to create a little bit more of a pocket for our kick to live in the
Hmm.
mix and not clutter it up. So
Hmm.
the kick is going to be affecting the 808,
Hmm.
and that's how it's going to sound. Now, to me, visually and by listening, it sounds like it's too much. It's kind of killing our whole 808
Yeah,
vibe. So
taking
what
it
I want
away.
to do, yeah, is I want to reduce this depth knob. That's going to affect how much reduction we're getting here. So I'm going to pull that back till it's at the right level. Something just like that is what we're
Hmm.
looking for. And I'll play you a little bit with and without it so you can hear, try to listen for the comparison. A very subtle difference, but it
Hmm.
helps clear up a lot of the muddiness on the low end, and it really helps that relationship between your kick and your 808. So the next element I want to bring in as we're building our house is going to be kind of our main melody element. See what we have going on with the melody. Let's listen to these tracks in solo. Okay, so it sounds like these two kind of work together to create our main melody. So we'll work on these two in conjunction now with the 808 and our kick. What I'm going to do right now is just bypass this God Particle plugin. We'll get back to that later. So let's solo out our 808, our kick, and this guy, the Wurlitzer. And one thing we want to do on any kind of melody element like this that doesn't have a lot of low end in it or doesn't require a lot of low end, we just want to cut it out. So this way, we're clearing up more room for our 808 and our kick to cut through the mix. And pull this back, this low cut filter, until it starts negatively affecting the sound. Now, there's a little bit too much, so we're going to dial it back. There is a bit of low end information in this that we, low mids that we don't want to lose. We can reduce that a bit if we want to, help clear up this area even more. Let's hear that. Wait. When I bypass that, listen to how the kick and the 808 kind of come more to life and come more into focus. Very subtle. You have to listen, try to listen to the low frequencies in particular. So we're going to do the same thing with now this melody element too. Now let's see what this Mellotron violin is doing. Now this section is playing where we have a different low end element, this ESM bass. Hear that. And we can do the same thing we did with the 808 here to clear up a little bit of room on the low end. I'm just going to copy this Soothe plugin over, and I'll do the same exact thing for our bass. I'm going to raise up the bass a little too. The next element we're going to introduce is going to be our snare. In this case, it's the rim. Okay, so let's listen to our rims now with the rest of this. We actually have two, so I'm going to mute one and then try to find a balance that I like between these two. And the nice thing about having them grouped like this is once I find a balance I like, I can just bring up the overall volume of them together. Now, the last thing that I would get to are going to be the hi-hats, shakers, any kind of additional percussion or elements like that. We kind of have our foundation together. Now I want to hear how this sounds with our God Particle plugin on it. Sounds like it's bringing out the rim a little much, so I'm going to lower that.
Are you looking for anything in particular on the like the limiter?
Yes. So the main thing I'm looking at are these levels here, the high, low, and the mid. And we're not all the way up there yet, but that's okay. As long as we're not peaking and exceeding it, that's okay at this point because we're still going to be adding more to the mix. So I just want to make sure we're in the right ballpark, that we're in range. We're going to do the same thing with this string pad. I realized we didn't do that before, is we want to cut out a little bit of low end. Sometimes you don't want to completely cut it out. You just want to reduce it a bit, which is what I'm doing with a bell. You can highlight some of the upper parts of the harmonics of the sound if you like. However, whatever whatever floats your boat, so to speak. And this is all sounding pretty good with very minimal plugins going on. We just have our sidechain, couple of EQs, cutting out some lows. Kind of want to make it knock a little bit more.
Yeah, we need it to knock.
I think we need to make this knock just to drop more. So one plugin I really like called the knock plugin. It has a few different features built in. The two that I really like are the punch, which is like a transient shaper, and the clip, which is a clipper. And I think they sound really great for drums in particular. Yeah, so let's hear this on the kick. And these two knobs kind of work in conjunction with each other. And I like to use this on the kick and the snare in particular and get the balance between those two. So let's dial that in between the kick and the snare with the knock plugin. Now, if you don't have the knock plugin, you could use whatever clipper you have. There's a bunch on the market that are really great. You could use any kind of transient shaper. The smack attack from Waves is a pretty good one. And then one other quick trick that I like to do is add a little bit of touch of reverb to our snare, give it a little bit more space. So let's pull up a little bit of reverb. And I use this on all kinds of things. And a lot of times it sounds pretty good on the snare. If I'm just doing a quick mix and I want, quick and dirty, I'll load up this plugin. It's tried and true on this hall setting. Turn it up a little bit, and it gives you some nice space. As we're getting later in the stage of the mix, you can play with this input knob to the God particle to get your levels sitting more the way you want to see them here on this meter. You could push the mids or the highs with these knobs. Just an instrumental, usually you will see that your mids and your highs maybe will be a little bit less represented because a lot of times the vocals take up that space. So it's okay. We just want to make sure our low end is knocking right on this meter. Check our waves meter that I like to use here just to get a quick idea of our LUFS. This isn't the final mix of a master of a track. We're just sending out this beat or posting it. So somewhere in the range, I'd say anywhere from 7 to 12 is fine. And then if you're working with an artist and they want you to send them one without the limiter on it or just the stems, then you work from there. But as far as putting your beats out online, I think you generally do want to have a limiter on there to make sure it's knocking. When people are more likely to select your beat if it sounds loud and powerful. But as far as a quick and dirty, simple mix, I don't think I would do much more. I think we got it knocking. I think everything sounds clear and well represented in the mix.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. A quick mix tutorial by Mike Laz, producer, engineer extraordinaire. I'll put his Instagram and his links in this video. So if you want to book him for engineering or one-on-one tutorials, anything like that, you can reach out to him directly. If you haven't done so already, you should like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Tell everybody to follow this channel. As always, stay safe, keep creating. Peace.